Argentina. The new president, Javier Milei, ran on an anti-communist platform. I think he was very critical of the CCP in his campaign. How's he getting on with China now?
Well, actually, a few days after he got elected, he actually became very friendly with China. I mean, Argentina has a big problem, as many other Latin American countries have, that most of its exports, especially in soybeans, I believe, go to China. So the grip that China has currently in Argentina is pretty strong. So he cannot just cut ties directly with China overnight. I know that within his government, this is something I've been talking about with some public officials in Argentina. There is mixed views on how to engage with China and how to respond to China. Some see this as a security problem, and some others see the China issue as a necessary evil, something that they need to look in the long term at how to decouple with China, or how to take action to diminish China's influence within the country, but not something that they can do overnight. So these two views are kind of struggling within the Milei government. But yeah,
I mean, you talk about doing it overnight, but he's been in office about 15 months or so, right? It seems like a long time to be able to start cutting ties with communist China, if that's what he was serious about, right?
I mean, there's no much that has been done so far. And to be honest, I think China was one of the first countries to congratulate Milei after he arrived in office. And he has a few other problems that you might have heard of internally and, of course, politically. So since Milei's priorities seem to be in get Argentina back on track in terms of economic development, then it doesn't seem that he can just cut ties with China. And I think that the executive decision there was to kind of leave this as a more discursive or narrative issue than an actually policy-related issue. And it's the same with the space station that has, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the Neuquén space and research station, the Estación Espacio Lejano in Spanish. Although within the administration, and this is something I've talked to with a few public officials, there is an understanding that this is a problem. There is some caution to actually do or engage in policies that will terminate that contract.
All right. So the space station, one of the things that's interesting about Argentina, just geographically, it's completely on the opposite side of the earth from China.
Yeah.
Right. So it's only really Argentina and Chile are geographically in the right place on the globe to have a kind of space station that can track satellites that are not trackable by from Chinese stations, right, in China. So it's like, from China's perspective, they have to have a space station somewhere in the southern part of South America. But when they built the space station in Argentina, I think it was 10 years ago or so, maybe 2014, they had said it was going to be for only civilian purposes. How's that turned out?
So the original contract, which was negotiated during the Kirchner administration and then was finalized by Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, didn't say civilian use per se. It said scientific research. The thing is, the branch of the Chinese counterpart that built the station is managed by the PLA. So this is something that it is written in the document, but it is written in the document as scientific research, but actually these researchers or scientists that are working at the station come from the People's Liberation Army. So this is something that was actually put on the table after the space station started operations. And the contract is crazy. If you see it, it allows China to operate this station without any due diligence from Argentina for decades. I think they granted them a surface in the Neuquén desert, like it's a pampa, is like basically desert. There's nothing around. There is one town more than 20 kilometers away, and it allows them to operate the station for decades. For I think it's a ridiculous amount. It's a lease, but it's a ridiculous amount. It's not justifiable at all. They cannot change this contract because it is within the law in the sense that they are paying, but they're paying peanuts, right? They're not paying much. Another problem is that the contract allows them to use their own frequency that is enclosed, and they don't have to respond or accept any kind of monitoring from the Argentinian state. So there have been some attempts at entering the base and actually seeing what's being done there. But apart from these guided visits in which they can say that, oh, the antennas they're supposed to be there, the people who are supposed to be there, there's not many control mechanisms that the Argentinian government can have to kind of know what the PLA is doing there. And actually many of the people who work at the base, or if not all of them, enter through diplomatic channels. So they're not even controlled by the Argentinian government in their entrance to the country, right?
So it's basically like a piece of mainland Chinese soil on which they can operate with impunity, and it's operated by the Chinese military, and the Argentinian government has basically no control or oversight at all.
Basically, yes. And it's the size of a microstate in Europe, like Luxembourg.
Thank you for watching this highlight from our hour-long podcast. The full interview is available exclusively on our website, ChinaUncensored.tv. And when you subscribe to our website, you'll also get premium China Uncensored episodes, live streams, a community chat with me, Shelley, Matt, and hundreds of subscribers. And most importantly, you'll be supporting content you love. Check it out. The link is below.